everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of Kitchen Talk. Now, what we do in every episode is we are talking everything nutrition, recipes, ingredients, ideas for snacks, kitchen gadgets that I love, and so on. So welcome to episode 1, and we are going to, boom, kick it off with a bang today. What we're going to be doing is going through a recipe for a high protein packed queso dip, okay? Before we get that started, YouTube, you guys know what to do. Go ahead, click that button, subscribe to the channel, guys, and get those bells, those notifications when we're going to be posting new and fresh workout / nutrition content. We're doing a recipe today for episode 1. Like I said, you guys, this is a protein-packed queso dip, okay? And the star of the show, I know, the star of the show is right here, cottage cheese. And I know you're rolling your eyes. Cottage cheese has had its moment, right? It's living its best life right now. And why? Because it is a very low-calorie, high-protein ingredient that you could use as a snack, as a dessert, in recipes, okay? But I swear to you, there have been huge bombs when it comes to cottage cheese as far as recipes go. But this one today, you guys, I guarantee you're not gonna know it's cottage cheese. You give it to anybody, they're not gonna know it's cottage cheese. And if you're kind of saying like, I cannot handle the texture of cottage cheese, then don't worry, we're gonna blend it actually, so it's gonna become nice and thick and creamy. So let's talk about ingredients and then we'll get the show on the road. So like I said, the star of the show is gonna be your cottage cheese. I have here the fat-free. You can use whatever. There's good culture cottage cheese. There's the 2%, the 4%, whatever it is. But as far as the macros go for this recipe, I use the fat-free here. Next up, what we're gonna need is a little bit of this taco seasoning. Any brand that you guys wanna get is great. I've got the mild, you can get the hot, you can get the spicy, whatever it is. We're gonna use a little bit of this taco seasoning. Then we're gonna need the can of Fiesta Rotel. This is great because if you've never had Rotel, it's dynamite. Again, it's low calorie, and all it is, it's diced tomatoes and green chilies. And if you live in New Mexico like I do, it's the land of green and red chili. So this will just add a little bit of spice, but not too much. I'm a wimp when it comes to spice, but this, it's kind of like that ingredient that is, yeah, you need it in there to make it pizzazz. It's got the pizzazz. This is the original. Again, if you go to the store, they've got the spicy one, they've got a mild one. I went with the original there. And then check this out. So there are 2 different ways that you guys can do this. The first option is to use like one of those like Velveeta block cheeses, right? If you don't really mind about the calorie count, your calorie count is going to be way higher, but it's still going to be loaded with protein. Now, if you want it more low calorie budget friendly, we always talk about the calorie budget. I went ahead and got this cheddar cheese powder, right? It's like the powdered cheese that you're going to find in the Kraft macaroni and cheese box. It's the cheddar cheese powder, and I ordered this off of Amazon, and I think it was about $13. I mean, this will last me a lifetime, okay? So it's worth the investment, and per tablespoon, only 40 calories. So you're getting that big kind of taste of that cheddar cheese, but without going over your calories. So either or, you could do it with the Velveeta where you melt the Velveeta cheese, great, or you can go this way, boom, the cheddar cheese powder, the calories are gonna be a lot lower, so you can kind of go, you know, add more volume when it comes to that because the calories are lower. And that's it. If you have a blender, you guys can do this in a Vitamix blender, in a Blend Jet. I'm going to be using the trusty immersion blender, handheld. So I'm going to be using that. I just have a little cup I'm going to use to measure everything. And let's get all ingredients in there. So I always weigh my stuff out on a digital scale. You guys invest in one of these. It'll be your best friend when it comes to tracking your calories. You know exactly what is going in your body, track it, boom, and that's when you're going to get the results as far as the nutrition goes. So I'm just going to tear that out to 0. And here are the ingredients, which we will have up on the screen as I go through them. I measure this in grams. So we're going to do 2 servings, which is 1 full cup here of this cottage cheese. So that's going to be 226 grams. And I'm not going to cheat you guys. We're going to get it to 226 here. And just the protein alone, in the 2 servings of cottage cheese, you guys, is 26 grams of protein. Boom. Okay, next up, I'm going to go ahead and 0 that out. My next ingredient that I've got, I'm going to do our cheese powder, which is going to be 2 servings, so 80 calories of this cheese powder, 16 grams. There we go. Then we're going to go ahead and add in, I've got my Rotel. So again, I always 0 it out so I don't get confused on that. I'm going to add some of the Rotel and add a little bit of the juice with it too, because you will need some of that when it comes to blending. You know, sometimes it just gets a little too dry in there. You can also add unsweetened almond milk, like I said, just to kind of give you a little more of that juice. And boom, there we go. And then a little bit of taco seasoning. And I'm not going to go crazy with the taco seasoning. You know, I just basically added 20 calories worth of my taco seasoning. So that's 8 grams. Again, if you like more of that taco flavor, you guys go for it. I'm just giving you guys a baseline and kind of what I did and what I love. But if you want to add a little more, by all means, please do it. Nobody's judging you. In fact, I want this to taste the best that it's ever tasted. So now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to mix it with my spoon here. And like I said, we are going to blend it. The dogs are like going crazy outside. There's 4 of them. They range from like a Gizmo, who's like the short, squatty guy. He's like a mix between a Basset Hound and I don't know what else. His legs are about this high, to a 95-pound Doberman. So they're all out there playing. All right, scale. I don't need you no more. What we need. So this is either in your blend jet or in the blender. Hit it so that it gets nice and creamy. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend away with my trusty immersion blender. We had a great day of workouts at Sweat Boot Camp, and now we're making some healthy queso dip. I actually made this for Super Bowl, and everybody that tried it loved it. And I tell you one thing, the person that judges my recipes the most, when I'm always like, oh, I have to try that, or I think of something new and different. And see, you guys, really quick, how it's coming together a little bit. So we still have a little ways to go until we get until it gets blended out nice and creamy. Is my mom. She's like the biggest Judge Judy in the world. So if I give her something to try that's like, you know, a little more calorie friendly, she will let me know. And she'll be like, nope, that was not good. So what do? I'm one of those people that like, I'm going to prove to you it's going to taste good. So I'll go and kind of make little tweaks here and there until she finally gives it the thumbs up. But this is a recipe, guys, that she actually really liked. All right, so keep blending, you guys, until it becomes this beautiful consistency right here. So I'll use my little spoon and kind of show you guys how beautiful that looks. You see the texture? It'll stick on a chip. It'll stick on a piece of celery or a carrot, okay? So that's the consistency, guys, that we're kind of pulling for. So if you notice, like, it's a little too thick, like I said, add a little bit of unsweetened almond milk, a splash of that, or some more of the Rotel, the juices from the tomato in there, and get it to the consistency that you like. Now let's talk about this container right here. That's about filled up to here, okay? Let's go over the macros on everything. With those measurements that I gave you, 226 grams of a non-fat cottage cheese, 16 grams of this cheddar cheese powder, Amazon, 125 grams of our rotel, okay? And then we've got our taco seasoning, 2 servings of this, which is 8 grams. Total calories for this whole thing here, it's filled up to here, is going to be 285 calories and a whopping 29 grams of protein. Now, we don't want to stop there because you're thinking, well, what am I going to do with this? What are we going to do with this? Celery sticks, carrots, red peppers cut in strips, dip, 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 a broccoli floret, cauliflower floret, whatever, if you're into veggies, sugar snap peas, what? Delish! Okay, so you dip and you go and you enjoy a high protein, wonderful queso dip. Next up, mac and cheese. Who doesn't love mac and cheese, all right? But we're gonna bump up the protein content. You can use whatever macaronis you want, but this is the Banza. It's shells made from chickpeas. Per serving, protein is 11 grams. So if you have 1 serving of this protein pasta, you've added another 11 grams. So now you're at 40 grams of protein, right? You can kick it up a notch even further by adding to your mac and cheese now some lean ground beef. You can add some pulled chicken, put another protein on top of the protein, queso protein pasta, and you've got even more protein there. Another option, if you've never tried these Quest chips, I've got these at Walmart. They're in like the health section. They're not in the chip section. But per bag, we're looking at 20. This one, oh, this is the tortilla style. This is 20 grams of protein. So if I have this bag of chips in with some of this dip, boom, you've got your high protein snack right there. Okay, so folks, don't sleep on it because it's made out of cottage cheese, right? Go for it. The key is blending it. So let's just take a taste test here. I've never tried actually the tortilla style chip. Oh, it's good. It's got kind of a little tang, I guess from the, oh, it's chili lime. Woo, it's got a zip. All right, so I'm gonna dip. There's a beautiful dip there. Shut the front door, shut the back door, shut the windows. That is, you guys, a hit. Get on it. High protein queso dip. You guys, episode 1 was a blast. I hate to see you go, but I'm going to love to eat the rest of these chips and this queso. So stay tuned, you guys. Subscribe to the channel and get ready for episode number 2 of Kitchen Talk.